chose to do the gastric banding surgery. Now I throw up 20 times a day.
To keep thin, 10 cups of coffee, running 10 miles. I burn a lot of calories. Don't eat anything.
I don't want to die.
That could happen the next time you vomit.
Do you engage in any kind of self-injurious behavior?
You're about to be homeless tonight, and I'm sitting here worried about you.
You. How dare you say that to me? There's nothing wrong with me. Oh my God. Every time I look down at that number, I just want to throw up.
How much you weigh?
None of your business.
Come on, you can tell me.
2 pounds.
2 pounds?
Yes. You know, I went through this trouble to get this gastric band. The surgery I needed to get was having my lips sewn shut. My name is Mona, and back in the mid-90s, I was a #1 Billboard dance music recording artist.
Mona, as Monet, had the #1 dance song on the Billboard charts. She charted above Madonna.
But that was then, and this is now. I have always been a binge eater. 2.5 years ago, I chose to do the gastric banding surgery. The band is a saline-filled ring that goes around the top part of your stomach. It was designed to allow the food to pass through slower so you eat less. I was hoping that the band would be like this magic cure-all. I would get out of surgery and I wouldn't want to eat anymore, and I would lose all my weight. And unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. Now, I have a pouch that I can put food into about the size of a golf ball, but I still have the most incredible urge to binge. I always grab like 3. I continue to eat after my little pouch is full, so I let the food build up to my esophagus where I have to go throw it up. I gotta throw up.
Having a gastric band has turned my wife from an overeater to a bulimic.
I binge and throw up 20 times a day. Every day. I usually start with creamy chicken soup. Anything that would easily slide through the band is called slider foods, and that's what I live on. Round 2, mashed potatoes and gravy. Round 3, I can't stop. I can't stop.
Mona, eat slow.
I've been eating slow.
I try to stop her, but I can't. I don't know what to do.
How are we still doing?
Can I get another bowl of gravy?
Another bowl of gravy? Sure.
Yeah. It's one more I know I can make. Get one more bite in.
She eats, she vomits, she eats, and she vomits, and that's the cycle that she has, which is very, very dangerous.
I feel like I want to cry every day. She's my best friend, and I don't want to lose her.
If Mona doesn't get help right now, I don't know how much her body can take anymore.
I want to live, and I don't want to spend the second half of my life as miserable as I did the first half. I grew up in a Pentecostal Christian family. My dad was a minister, and I started singing in church when I was about 5 years old.
She had the perfect pitch and tone. She's just a phenomenal singer, even as a child.
My childhood was pretty normal, though, up until about 8 years old, and then it just all started going downhill from there. I was molested by the father of one of my friends. And I didn't want to say anything because I was afraid I wouldn't be able to go back over and see her anymore. It made me hate myself, and it made me hate my body. And it made me want to not ever let anybody be attracted to me. I didn't want anybody to like I didn't want anybody to like the way I looked because I didn't want them to hurt me anymore.
Mona was teased a lot in school about everything, from her weight to how she ate in the lunchroom.
So I was pretty much the odd one out in school. I didn't have friends because I was eating way too much. It had been 7 or 8 years since I had sang in church when I decided to get into the music business.
The first time I heard Mona sing, I was blown away. I thought she was touched by God, to be honest with you. I introduced Mona to the man that got her the deal with Strictly Rhythm Records, and the first single they released went to #1. She blew up. England, Paris, Zurich. She went to Germany, Italy, Japan, all of these places.
It was the best times of my life that I can remember, but I just still didn't feel like I was deserving of it. I just felt like everyone's laughing at me and that I'm too fat to be on stage. And I started eating to deal with the stress.
When she wasn't performing, she would sit in the hotel room and eat.
My eating was out of control, and I was at 400 pounds and miserable.
Because of her weight, the record label would never produce a music video for her. They wouldn't promote her. Gone. That was it.
I stopped believing in myself, and I just pretty much fell off the face of the earth.
Luckily for me, Mona dropped into my lap. When I met Mona, I was one of the dancers in Mona's final show in Miami. I fell in love with Mona at first sight. Even though she was almost 400 pounds, I thought of her as being the most beautiful woman in the world.
Sean has stayed with her through the weight and everything. He worships the ground that Mona walks on.
God.
You all right?
Yes. I hate it. I just wish I could just stop. I really want to get better. I don't want to be like this forever. I want to be normal. If I don't get help, I'm gonna eat myself to death.
If you are doing binge eating, then your esophagus starts to dilate and get bigger and bigger. With continued stretching or with vomiting, your esophagus can actually rupture. If it tears, now you're spilling all of those acids into your lungs, into the heart, and that could lead to all different kinds of problems immediately. And of course, the worst would be death. That could happen the next time you vomit.
In high school, I felt being thinner, it was better. I did once have a scholarship offer for cross country, and I passed it up because of my eating disorder. Hi, my name's Andrew. I'm 23 and I live in Brooklyn, New York. The eating disorder I have is actually bulimia. If I go the whole day and I don't eat anything, I'm probably more than likely to come home and just want to eat and throw up. I was asked by my roommates from my last living situation to move out due to the fact of my eating disorder. My roommates couldn't deal with it.
Andrew's always at a new job. He's always at a new place to live. He's never anywhere for longer than a month.
I sublet now, and I have great roommates. Now I have a place to carry out my addiction with eating and throwing up. From the moment I first wake up, the first thing I think about is running 10 miles just to keep thin. I usually run between 40 to 50 miles a week. I burn a lot of calories when I run. After I run my 10 miles, you definitely do get hungry. But I usually don't like to eat during the day. I like to just keep drinking coffee or something. I usually have about, close to 10 cups of coffee. I drink massive amounts of coffee. I'll tend to even eat gum, like sugar-free gum, and I'll probably have between 1 to 2 packets a day of it. I'll swallow it, just to even give myself the feeling like I'm actually eating something. Just so it kind of replaces food. And then come home and then just be very exhausted and hungry, and then I go out to the grocery store and just buy all this food.
I could just imagine the amount of money he just spends on food that he just throws up anyway.
Give me a large like rice, if you could. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Last week, we were in the grocery store, and he was buying candy and some like chocolate bars. I said, "Why are you buying that? It's not good for you." And he says, "Well, I'm just gonna purge it anyway." So I buy it.
Thanks. Have a good day, guys. See you later. Bye. Bye. I'll eat pretty much as I can. It's the worst feeling in the world. And then you have to then purge. When you are binging and purging, sometimes you aren't able to either get to use the bathroom. So you would have to use bags to throw up in. And then when you're done, I usually just tie it up and then try to see if anybody's out there, and I'll just throw it in the garbage. People think you can just stop this because it's not an actual drug like crack. But food is much more deadlier than you think. You can't survive without food. So how do you get better when your drug you can't eliminate totally?
It's very scary to see your brother go through all the things that he's going through. I mean, I think my brother's gonna die.
My childhood growing up, it was very fast-paced chaos. My mom had 8 kids.
She did have a lot of boyfriends, did rely on men a lot of times to take care of her, take care of us.
You know, some of the guys my mother was with would beat her. It was hard to deal with that. I remember there would be some nights where we would be taken to a friend's house while the cops had to come and see if my mom was okay. My mother was in the hospital once from just getting beat up by the one guy she was with. My eating disorder started when I was 10 years old.
Well, my brother was always a little bit heavier growing up.
And my brother was always, you know, the thinner athlete.
He did look up to me, and he did see me as like a figure for him that he wanted to be like.
I was upset with not being as thin as my brother, so I started restricting my diet already at a young age.
He used to exercise as soon as he got done eating for about a half hour, and he did drastically lose his weight.
People were coming up to me telling me even at a young age, "You're losing weight so much, you know, now I'm being accepted." Now people are complimenting me. So that's what kept, you know, moving me forward with the eating disorder.
When Andrew got into high school, he joined the track team.
I loved running. I learned, you know, a new passion I had.
My brother Andrew did excel in track, and he was a track star.
Towards the end of high school, I got injured. I cracked my tibia from just running too many times a week. I was thinking to myself, how am I gonna burn all the calories I did when I was running? Now I can't run. The first time I made myself throw up, I tried it out, not thinking much of it. And then I started to lose even more weight, even without running. And that's where it got more addictive.
My brother Andrew was living with my mom for a long time, dealing with this eating disorder. It just got to the point where my mom just had enough. She kicked him out.
It's a very upsetting feeling, being thrown out of the house. You know, at this point, I really have isolated myself from everybody I knew, and I pushed them all away. At first, you don't really realize how much you lose by just giving into an addiction like, you know, bulimia. I mean, I know I'm gonna really have to just push and work my ass off and really fight every urge I get and just get a decent, normal life back again. I gotta take this down before I get any worse.
How many times a day do you think you're purging?
It could be 2 to 3 times.
And that's just routine. And how long has that routine been going on to the 2 or 3 times?
Wow, for at least the last 5 years, 5-6 years.
I see that you have some cuts. I see some on your hand and also one on your chest. So can you tell me a little bit about where they come from?
I usually cut when something extremely bad happened.
What does that make you feel like?
Almost like the cutting, the first part of it is the binging. And then the purging is the blood coming out.
As you look at Andrew, you see a boy who looks like he's just very normal. But as you look a little bit deeper, you see an emaciated male who is obviously not getting the nutrients that he needs.
The thing that troubled me when I went through everything was the fact that I looked at your bone density. It looks as if you have moderate osteopenia. Now, osteopenia is a pre-stage to osteoporosis. And the reason why it was so alarming to me is because you usually don't see this in men. You usually see it in elderly females. My biggest concern is that this is the first sign of bone deterioration. This can be due to the calcium you're losing when you purge.
Bulimia is finally, it's taking its toll on me. And right now I'm very scared, and I think, I really have to change my ways before it's too late.
What are you gonna eat, Mona?
Nothing, I don't eat breakfast.
You should be eating something healthy.
No, I'm gonna have a diet soda.
You know the doctor told you not to have diet soda with your gastric band.
I know, I don't care. I'm going to get ready. I look like a hot mess this morning. I do not really want to do this. I'm very afraid. I am really, like, having an anxiety issues right now about this therapy.
Okay, here we are.
Hi, Mona.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Please make yourself comfortable on the couch.
Okay.
I'm Dr. Julianne A. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist specializing in the treatment of eating disorders. Where are things at with your singing career now?
I've had some invites to do club shows and stuff, and I've just ignored them.
Why?
I don't want to go on stage right now.
Because?
I am overweight, and I feel like I would look stupid,
Tell me a little bit currently about your approach to food.
I'm not physically hungry even when I eat, but once I start eating, it's like somebody flips a switch on and they can't find the off button. There's no off button until I go to sleep. Then I get up and I'm looking through the cabinets. My whole cabinet's packed full of food. My whole freezer and refrigerator's packed full of food. I could never imagine going in and opening my cabinet and just having that little bit of stuff there.
What would that feel like?
I would panic. I would feel like, oh, I've got to get these cabinets filled back up with food.
Because when they're filled back up with food,
they're
then
not
what?
empty.
Okay.
I don't want the emptiness. I like it to be full. Don't want it to be empty.
Okay.
I want it to be full.
What do you hear yourself saying?
That's really weird. It's inside emptiness, maybe. I don't want to be empty inside.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
It's silly. It doesn't make sense to equate a cabinet full of food being empty to inside emptiness. But as I was saying it to you, that's what I was thinking. Oh, wow.
So we're going to work intensely on an outpatient basis for the next 6 weeks to get you comfortable within yourself.
Okay.
Today's actually my first day of therapy. I was like up all last night thinking about it. I really just want to see what, therapy is going to be like. Andrew.
My name's Dr. Camilla Mager. I am a licensed clinical psychologist practicing in New York City, and my specialty is eating disorders. And what brings you here today?
What brings me here is actually I'm trying to get help for my eating disorder. And it's just gotten to the point to where it's really handicapping me and even doing anything on a daily basis.
Are you constantly thinking about food, your weight, body image?
Yeah.
Are you currently in a relationship, romantic relationship?
No, never.
Never,
Actually.
never had one. How come?
When people find out you have an eating disorder, you know, it throws them off.
Do you engage in any kind of self-injurious behavior? Do you cut? Do you burn? Do you?
Yeah, I was actually, when I was younger, I was a big cutter. As you can see.
Andrew is extremely impulsive, and you can tell that he's impulsive in part by a lot of the scarring that's all up his arm in order to basically alleviate some uncomfortable feelings. What would be some immediate kind of things that you'd like to see change in your life?
Eating and throwing up, I want to be able to, instead of doing that, maybe, let's say, go out with a friend somewhere. Stop, delaying my life and stop giving into this, addiction.
So it sounds like just socially, you'd like to spend more time with your friends.
Yeah, and I think that's a big issue. That's probably why I've gotten so bad. It's just, isolation does not do good for anybody.
The reality is that you're home alone, binging and purging a lot every day. And we don't do that when we feel good and when we're positive about life, right? We do that, for the most part, when we're scared, when we're upset, when we're angry. And I think part of what really needs to happen is you and I need to start to access some of those feelings and get you a little more comfortable just having those feelings. Because lately you've been using the food to get rid of them. And they are gonna come up, you are gonna have to feel them, And it's scary, it's uncomfortable.
Deal with it, I have to,
Well, we'll deal with it together, okay?
Today, I am going to see a registered dietitian. I'm not quite sure what's gonna happen, but hopefully she's gonna help me learn how to eat right.
Ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Mona and I are going to a really healthy, organic restaurant. Welcome to Nourish. We're gonna be tasting a lot of different things today. This is probably gonna be really difficult for her because she hasn't had vegetables in over 20 years.
How about the spinach quiche?
Do you want fruit with that or a side salad?
Can I replace that with the fries?
You can, actually.
No, you cannot. I never eat fruits and vegetables, ever. My parents tried one time to make me eat a tomato, and I threw it up on the table, and they never tried that crap again.
Here's the spinach quiche.
I've never had quiche. I didn't know it was gonna look like this.
Really?
It just looks gross.
I don't want you to decide that you don't like it before you try it. Let's try a little bit of fruit. Which one do you want to try first?
It's so pretty. We don't need to eat it. Let's just look at it. All right. What is this?
Mango.
Damn it. Tastes good.
Why are you mad?
Because I don't want to like it. This is like sex on a plate. It is. I like it then.
Sana's coming over. She's definitely one of my best friends here. I never really let anybody come to where I live. I've always learned to isolate myself and just not let anybody see because I'm afraid what they're gonna think. But I need to break my own isolation. I just want to be able to live close to a normal life again.
Hello!
Oh, dang, what a fun. What in the?
Jasana's a very real person, and she'll be straightforward with you. She's not gonna hold back. This is my room. This is like my little cubby hole. This is like my little loft.
Are you serious? So, this is where you've been living? This is terrible. First of all, you live in a closet, so I'm gonna need you to live in a room.
Where's the roaches in there? Oh, dead roaches.
Come on, seriously?
Dead roaches all over.
That is not a good place to live. I wouldn't live there. It's a crap hole.
I know.
I kinda hate it.
Well, about a month ago, I was like, you know what? I gotta get something instant. It's better than being homeless. I'm just gonna take it now. It's only temporary.
I have a lease in September, okay? And it's too late, you're already on. You're moving in with me. Get your money together. We can do deposit on the 26th, and then we'll do everything else afterwards.
Moving in with her, she was really excited about it, and she wanted me to be there. But I knew that I can't afford it right now.
Aren't you? Gotta go.
Alrighty, hon. But I couldn't face up, I couldn't say those words, and I was just so ashamed.
It's him!
My best friend, Christian, has always been very supportive of me. He's always been there for me, and he's actually my producer.
Forget the past. Now, you are going to do what it is you're supposed to do.
Ever since this therapy has started, I haven't binged at all. My confidence level started going up, and I decided to pursue my career again in music. I contacted Christian, and we're going to the studio to record a new song that I wrote. It's about my recovery. It's called A Brighter Day.
We're gonna record the song. You're gonna perform in front of live people. It's been how many years? 2 years. Do you realize that? 2 years since you've been on stage.
You know, I'm scared though. I mean, since all the weight that I've gained, and I just think of what everybody's thinking about me, and...
Really? Mona, come on. You're the best. You know you're gonna tear that song up. Don't tell me you don't know.
I'll tear it up in the studio at least.
All right, Diva, let's do this. Come on.
All right, here we go.
Whenever I feel the walls are closing in on me, I start to run. The hate's so deep I can't deny.
Delete. Okay, we're not gonna listen to that one, are we?
I don't want to hear that. It sucks. Let's do it again.
It's something mental. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Whenever I feel the walls are closing in on me, I start to run.
All right, I'm sorry.
Keep it.
No.
I can see the ray of light. Let me do that over. I kind of was flat.
Calm down. Think about the words. It's emotional. So think about it and feel it.
I don't like emotions. Oh my God, this sucks. I shouldn't even have tried to write another song. I should have just forgot about the whole thing.
What do you want to do?
Okay.
Are we gonna give up?
Sounds like ass on a stick.
This is different for you.
It is very different.
So just calm down.
Not only that, but it's like so personal.
That's what I think. That's why you don't like it.
It's very personal.
Yeah.
I don't like.
Don't worry about that.
I don't like to get personal.
That's what's gonna connect.
In the real.
But can I say something? Hold the phone. Hold the phone. What you're doing right now is you're saying something personal, but this is what you're supposed to do, Mona. Don't you see it? Don't you know? If you can touch one person that doesn't have
then
a voice,
it's worth it. You know what? If I can help one person to not go through what I'm going through, or to come out of what I'm going through, it's worth it.
Yes. Now let me have it.
A brighter day is on the way. The night is turning into day. I can see the ray of light, stealing the darkness from the night.
And that's what I'm talking about. You nailed it in one take. Are you gonna cry?
I feel like...
I know, because you always cry every time she sings. Okay.
That's a wrap?
Tonight's session went really well. She did a great job, but I am really worried because in 2.5 weeks, she's gonna be doing a stage show. So she's gonna have to show that emotion on stage.
I am looking forward to the performance, but it has to be perfect. There are no second chances.
Dun, dun, dun.
Let's blow this hole.
When you're thinking about your upcoming performance, what do you want to have happen?
I want people to enjoy the show and enjoy hearing me sing and not let myself say all that negative stuff when I'm on stage and before I get on stage. And, oh God, you know, I look like this big fat cow on stage and I don't want to dance. People are gonna laugh at me.
You're your own bully.
That actually is pretty accurate, isn't it? That I'm my own bully. And I got good experience at it. I was the ridiculed, no friends, everybody laughed at me kind of kid in school.
Mona, that 10-year-old self is part of what goes on stage with you. So the girl that you were and those experiences that you went through needs your empathy now. God, if you could just magically have given that girl something, what would it have been?
Courage.
Okay. How? What would make her feel courageous?
To stand up and say, you.
Okay.
Excuse my language.
Say it again. Say it again. Come on, Mona. Say it.
I would have
again.
looked at them all and said, you.
Okay.
How dare you say that to me? There's nothing wrong with me.
Keep going. Keep going.
I hate you.
Okay.
I hate what you're saying and it hurts.
Okay.
And I don't deserve it.
Okay.
Because I've never done anything wrong to hurt anybody else. So why are you having fun at my expense?
Okay.
Find somebody else to laugh at.
Okay. I want you to get comfort now with this little girl. Love, just comfort her a little bit, Mona. Okay, there you go. Just comfort her a little bit.
You're okay. I love you.
Okay, when you can, I want you to be able to kind of look out at me. I want you to know that I'm here. There you go. There you go. Okay, no more mean children.
I felt like I was right there again.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I felt just more empowered.
Yes. Why? What did you do differently?
I stood up for myself.
We don't have to rely on the audience giving you support. You can give it to yourself.
I feel better.
Andrew was scheduled to come in for a session at 1 o'clock today. He texted the producers about an hour before the session, letting them know that he wouldn't be able to make it as his housing situation has fallen apart again.
I was asked by my roommates to move out due to the fact of my eating disorder. When I was actually throwing up, I would have to do it in bags. My roommates found it very disgusting. So I was asked to leave. I was already going a little anxious, running around trying to look for somewhere to stay. Voice message system. Yeah, no pickup.
Well, I found out about his living situation. Supposed to be out of there. Don't understand why you did not call me, didn't text me, didn't do anything. What's going on, Andrew?
Not much. I should have responded to her and just said I couldn't come up with the money for that, but it was a little embarrassing for me.
What do you mean, nothing much?
Nothing really extremely bad.
Nothing extremely bad? You don't have a place to live, Andrew. So where are you staying tonight?
Actually, nowhere, but it's fine. I'm just, I'm good. I'm all right. I'm just doing my own thing. I really don't need anybody at this point.
You're about to be homeless tonight, and I'm sitting here worried about you. You don't have your family. You don't have anybody but me. You want to know what's going to happen with our friendship if it continues like this? I'm going to distance myself from you. Because I cannot be with anybody I have to babysit, friendship or otherwise. Period. I want you to take care of yourself, and nobody's going to make you do it but you. Do you understand?
This feels feels like just not in my boat. I'm not used to this.
So you're out of your comfort zone and it's making you mad? Like, I'm not understanding.
That's it. My friend, Rosanna, is just very concerned about me. But I took it in the wrong way, and I think I wasn't in the right frame of mind. And I panicked. The first thing I thought of was just cutting. I cut massively. I just bandaged myself up, gave the landlord back the keys, and at that point I was homeless.
All right, we're here. You ready?
So I have my first performance in 2 years tonight.
We need to find out where your makeup and hair people are.
Hello, darling. In 6 weeks of therapy with Dr. Anae, I have not binged at all. All right, bye, baby. Love you. Be careful. I have lost 15 pounds without even trying because my gastric banding started doing what it's supposed to do. And here I am getting ready to go on stage. And I have to say that my confidence level is much more because I'm beginning to feel comfortable with me and not care what other people think about me.
Are you guys ready to party on a Saturday? All right, showtime in 5 minutes.
I am so nervous.
Do not skits out on me, Mona, please.
As the time grows closer to get on stage, I just feel like I just can't do it, and I get my nerves. I feel like I'm having a panic attack, and I just don't even want to get on stage at all.
We have a special guest here tonight, a #1 Billboard recording artist. She's gonna be doing one of her new singles, Brighter Day.
Are you ready?
No.
Mona?
What if I up? Like, what if I forget the words and my heart's racing and I can't hardly breathe, and I don't even think I can do this.
You're gonna be fine.
No, I can't. I cannot do this.
Mona?
Are you guys ready for some special entertainment tonight? All right.
Oh my God, my heart is racing out of my chest.
We have a #1 Billboard recording artist.
I am not 10 years old on a school grounds anymore, right?
No.
I'm a grown woman, and I'm not intimidated.
Give it up for the one and only Miss Monet!
Oh. Hey, what's up, Venus? I'm glad to be here today. A brighter day is on the way. The night is turning into day. I can see a ray of light, stealing the darkness from the night.
She tore it up, and she was smiling, and she actually opened up her eyes and looked into the audience. And that was really hard for her, but I think she did a really great job.
Tonight was really significant for me because I was thinking about Dr. Anae telling me about bringing my little 10-year-old self on stage, and I really wanted to be able to not just go on stage and be scared, but go on stage and actually enjoy myself and feel confident, and I was able to do that tonight.
Interesting thing yesterday. When Rosanna's like showing that she really, really cares for somebody, it's gonna be more intense with her. She's gonna be very, very in your face.
What had you done that had upset her?
For a long time, I delayed in responding to her because I felt so much shame in not probably being able to be a roommate. And like I know I couldn't do it financially, and I kept not talking to her. And I just did my old school way. I disappeared.
Okay, so she was angry at you for disappearing on her.
So I just totally I wigged out.
What do you mean you wigged out? Like, what did that look like?
Put me into a mindset that I rarely get into. That mindset that happened every time I make the scars.
So you cut?
Massively.
You needed to do something to get rid of your feelings. You couldn't tolerate what you were feeling.
Yeah, it was too much emotion at once. It was an overload.
When the option is
to hurt yourself or to yell and scream, how does hurting yourself become a better option?
And the only thing I knew how to do, obviously for years, know how to deal with my emotions, is either binging or purging or cutting. So.
Let me see. Jesus, Andrew. What did you use?
A razor.
When Andrew came into therapy, he had done some real damage to his body. He did so in an attempt to regulate his emotions. While it worked, unfortunately, also left him in a medically precarious position.
I didn't undress it because then it's gonna start gushing blood. It's kind of stuck to the tissue.
Think it's gonna be hard to get off?
You may have to wet it.
Let me take a look.
Cuts are
Okay, can I get some gauze dipped in saline?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Okay, let's see what we have, okay? How are we doing? Doing okay? Okay. Okay. A little more. He has some very deep lacerations, at least 3 or 4 that I could see. He couldn't even tolerate me taking off the bandage with the other cuts because the blood has already gotten hard and dried. These cuts are way too deep for us to do here, and you're actively somewhat bleeding right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get you over to the emergency room. I'm gonna give a call ahead of time, letting them know you're coming, letting them know that we're probably gonna require several sutures in order for us to be able to stop the bleeding on this one. It's very, very sad to see, and to see the amount of pain he caused himself. I thought we were so close to making him better, and it seems like we're back to square one. Okay, so he's gonna require a ton of sutures. A freaking ton. I thought it was important to escort Andrew over here to the emergency room. Reluctantly, he went, and hopefully he's gonna get a lot of the care that he needs.
I was about 70 stitches for all the cuts. At least they were able to get it to look almost back to normal. I do regret it though. At this point, I know that I need to get healthier. I need to get better. It's just about moving forward now.
Let's see, got some fruit.
All right.
I just want to try one of each until I find what I like. Red bell peppers, some green bell peppers for salad. Starting therapy literally changed my life. I am no longer a binge eater, but I am a healthy eater. I have lost a total of 22 pounds. I've changed my eating habits. I'm eating fruits and vegetables.
I love you. You're doing great, baby.
I love you too. Now, my husband, Sean, is my biggest binge